crafty cousins, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renita, aka Lene with Lene Creations, and today we're going to talk about two things. So first is my next pattern that is set to come out. Let's see, hopefully we can get you in the frame here. Okay, this is called the Imani Large Clutch, and as you can see, it has a flip lock closing. So again, it's just a flip lock, and I am going to walk you through how to install this. What's a tutorial on a bag if I don't show you how to actually install these? So I'm going to walk you through how to install both pieces. So it comes with two pieces here, and I'm going to show you how to do both. So this is gonna go like on your front piece, and this goes like on your main piece. So again, I'm gonna walk you through the process and how to install these, and kind of get I'm gonna walk you through how you get like a clean finish on these. So let's get started. All right, so let's get started. So here are the things that you will need. You'll also need some, I normally use a little bit of glue, so like E6000 or something like that. I'll show you when to do that. But here we have, I always call this like the female part, because it has the little hole in there, and then the male part with a washer. You won't need a washer when we install this part, but you will need the washer for the male part. This is the flip lock part. And then this is our piece that we're going to add our lock to. So our first step is you're going to unscrew this. So it comes with two screws, one on each side. We're going to take this apart. As you can see there's two pieces. We're going to take this apart, and then I'll come back after I unscrew this. Okay, so we've unscrewed this, and this is normally like the front where there's no like print here. This is the front. So you're going to take the back piece, and you're going to lay it on your fabric where you want to install your lock. And then we are going to kind of trace this out. So what I normally do is I'll make my two marks where my holes are, and then trace in the inside of this. Okay, so that's what we're looking like. So now what we want to do is we kind of want to cut just a little bit bigger than this here. I also like to, right at this edge, make my mark. So if we were to kind of like draw this out, and I'm gonna draw it out because I'm gonna end up cutting it anyway, and you want to start off less than what you probably think you need, because then you can always cut more. But if you make it too big, then this piece won't go on. So what I do is kind of go right around that dot, right around that dot. So we're going to cut this out. Again, you kind of want to make it a little bit smaller, because then if you need just a little bit more room, you can. Okay, if you need a little bit more room, you can always go a little bit larger, but if you cut it too big, again, you cannot go smaller. You have to cut another piece. So I'm just going to cut this piece out and then come back. Okay, so I forgot to mention that I'm using a seam ripper here to cut out the middle of the fabric. Okay, so we have our excuse me, our piece cut out here in the middle. So now we're just going to kind of do like a test run. So again, this is the front. We are going to kind of push this in and make sure that we can see our holes in the back. So I'm going to kind of play with this to fit this in that hole. Okay, now as you can see, I kind of need a little bit more room on one end. So probably a little give on this side. So I'm just going to cut just a little bit more so that I can see my holes on that end. Because your goal is to, we're going to put our screws through this hole. We're going to put our screws through this hole. So that's what we need. So if we can see it on this side, I just need to cut just a little bit more on this side so that I can get my screws in. Okay, so now we have our hole where we can see both of our holes where we're going to put our screws in. Now it's time to line our back piece up. And again, make sure you can still see your holes where you want to put your screws. And as long as that fits, you can see. Now's a good time. If I were you, I would kind of put just a little bit of like E6000 on the back of this, here and here, so that it kind of adheres to the back. That's optional. You don't have to do that. I just like to do that. And now you're just going to put your screws back in and screw it in. Okay, so now we have our female piece of our footlock installed, and now we're going to install the male piece. Okay, so now we have our other piece. We have our male piece and our washer, and then the piece that we're going to install that piece, the male piece on. I did make a mark here, and whatever pattern you're using, whether it's my pattern or anyone else's pattern, they should have a mark of where you should be installing both of these locks. So this is kind of similar to a magnetic snap. It comes with a washer. You're just going to lay your washer where your mark is, that it's even, and then making sure that these are going to go in either one of these holes. So this is looking like it's the middle. Sometimes your locks will have different slots. You just want to make sure that these prongs are going to fit in between two of these. So looks like mine is in the middle, so that's where I'm going to make my mark. Okay, so I'm just going to take a seam ripper and kind of cut a slit in these marks, making sure that I don't go overcut, because then you don't want your lock to be loosey-goosey. So I'm going to cut my slits in here and then I'll come back. And I want to pause here. A lot of times what I will do is add fray check on here, even though if you're using vinyl or something like that, it doesn't fray as much, but this kind of serves as like almost like a glue a little bit. So I just kind of put a little bit where those slits are. Okay, we're going to take our lock and we're going to insert it in those holes that we made. And I may have to cut a little bit more if it doesn't go through. Okay, there we go. All right, and then once you have your lock in, if you feel like you need a little bit more security, you could add a piece of stabilizer here. I do have foam on there because I decided to quilt the outside. So I probably won't add more because it's already thick here. It's already a thick foam. So, but if you do, if you don't have foam or a stabilizer on there, you could add another piece of stabilizer here to make it more stable. But then after you do that, then you'll add your washer and then fold down your prongs. And it's a little tricky because it's not flat like a magnetic snap. So you just kind of have to play with it a little bit. Okay, I did decide to add a little bit more foam here. It was moving a little bit too much for my liking, so I did add another piece of foam here. But as you can see, we have our prongs down. And this is another thing, whether you fold your prongs in or out, it's totally preference. They stay either way. Haven't had any issues either way. So fold them out, fold them in. It's really your preference. So now we have our lock installed, and you can do up or down. It's up to you. Again, that's preference. But here is our piece, making sure that it fits there. And again, you can fold it up. Fold it down or fold it up. So there you have it. There's your flip lock. Hopefully that tutorial was easy for you or made things easier. Like I said before, I know they can be a little bit intimidating, especially if you had not used one before, or you use them and then you didn't get like a clean finish on it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that tutorial, you were able to kind of walk through that process and get a clean finish on your bag. And then, shameless plug, you'll be able to use it on my new pattern that's coming out at the end of the month. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or you can send me a message if you don't want to put a comment down below. But just let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll be glad to address any of those. So until next time.